Hello and welcome to the Tryline Podcast. I'm your host, Bo. This is my co-host, Danny.
Hello.
How you going?
Yeah, I'm going alright.
Parramatta win.
Parramatta did win.
Another danger game for Parramatta.
Who they got?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's a danger game.
They're all danger games
they're all
for
danger
Parramatta.
games. Yeah, how'd the cows go?
We won, baby.
Yeah.
Every time I tip them, every time I tip against them, they win. So I'm just going to keep that train going.
Yeah,
We won by 1 point.
Is it, what is it, 4 of the last 5?
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, good on them.
Probably one of their better wins the other night as well. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah,
Thought Cole Felt's put down. We'll get into it, but Jesus, what a try that was.
Yeah, what a try.
So this is a World Cup year. We already picked our Tongan and Samoan sides. Today we're going to pick our Australian and New Zealand sides.
Yep.
I feel like the Australian team pretty much picks itself. So we'll start with the New Zealand side. Who you got, mate?
Rightio, so we've only picked a starting 13. We haven't worried about the bench. So at fullback I've got RTS. The wingers I've got Dallin and Jordan Ripener.
Oh, yeah.
Centers, I've picked Remus Smith because I think his form at Melbourne at the moment. He's going all right. And Joey Manu. The halves, the 6 was a bit of a tough one, but I've gone with Cody Nikorima and Jerome Hughes at 7.
Yeah.
The front row forwards, James Fish-Harris and Jesse Bromwich with Brandon Smith at hooker. The back row, Kevin Proctor and Kenny Bromwich with Toe Harris at lock.
I like that. I agree with the halves. I think Benji will be in the setup. I think he'll be in the squad for the World Cup. I don't know if he'll start. And especially if they do like to change in players, especially for those games that are not as hard. So say they're playing Scotland or something, if they're in that draw, then Benji might start that game. But I don't think he'll start if they play Australia.
Yeah, I just thought that they'd go for a younger half.
Yeah.
The other ones were Kieran Four and Sean Johnson or Benji, which they're all pretty old at the moment. And if they want to look towards their future, I think Cody Nikorima is the way to go.
I think if Sean Johnson can get on the field and push into some form, he'll probably be in that makeup too.
Yeah.
But Cody Nikorima, I think he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
For the Australian side, like I said, especially the spine pretty much picks itself. I got James Tedesco, Josh Adokar, and Valentine Holmes on the other wing. He's been there, done that for Australia and Queensland. So
Yep.
I got him in the makeup. Tommy Turbo, we'll get into him later. He's just killing it. And Latrell Mitchell in the centres. Into Munster, and I think it's time for Cleary to take that 7 spot for Australia.
Yeah.
I think Cherry Evans has done a good job for a long time, but Cleary is the best halfback in the world at the moment. Junior Paulo, and I've got Payne Haas. Now, I got Junior Paulo over Josh Papali'i. I think Josh Papali'i might play for Samoa instead.
Okay.
So, or if Junior Paulo wants to play for Australia, I think he'll be there. David Fifita. I got Kafusi as well. That second back rower spot was hard for me.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about it before. There's a few people that could play that spot.
Crichton as well.
Yeah, Crichton, Frizzell.
I like Kafusi, so I went Kafusi and Isaiah Yeo for the lock spot. Another position that can be filled by a couple of players.
Yeah.
I think Isaiah Yeo is so underrated.
Yeah, 100%. Just going back to that second row spot, you think if Boyd Cordner's healthy, do you think he gets that second row spot?
I don't. Nah. I think he might go away from rep footy.
Oh, really?
I think if he's going to come back, I think he might focus on playing for the Roosters. I hope we get to see him play again. I think he's been a great player for a long time.
Me too.
But the Roosters are taking it easy with him. Anyway, those are the squads. In other news, now on the show we don't give these people a lot of airtime.
Yeah.
We're both strongly against any violence against women, anything like that. But Jarryd Hayne this week was sentenced to a maximum 5 years and 9 months behind bars for sexually assaulting a woman. And that was the night of the 2018 Grand Final. Now, away from what happened, he deserves to be in jail. He was your favourite player growing up, being a Parramatta fan.
Yeah.
You've openly said that you loved him, and obviously as a Parramatta fan you would. What did this news, from right back from when it happened to now, like how does that make you feel? Knowing that you idolise this bloke.
Oh, well, it was tough to hear because it's like growing up watching him play. It's like, what were we in high school?
Yeah.
Primary school, high school, watching him play. It was crap, hearing about that news, hearing that he could have done something like that, like growing up and thinking, oh, this guy's, he's it.
Yeah.
Like growing up wanting to be like him. Like I remember we went to footy training and we were doing like a Jarryd Hayne challenge where we'd try and kick the ball over the crossbar from the 10 metre line and then catch it and score.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So, yeah, don't really want to talk about it too much.
Yeah, it sucks because, you look up to these people and especially their role models in the community, and then to think this can happen.
Yeah.
Glad justice was served here. I think he's found guilty, so he deserves to serve his sentence in jail.
Yeah.
And like I said, we don't really like to give any airtime to these kind of people, but if there is a sentence brought down, we will talk about it on the show, obviously. Yeah. Away from that, I want you to close your eyes for a second.
Okay.
All right. It's the night of the grand final, 2021. The hoot has just gone.
Yep.
Reid Marnie's got his hands in the air. Parramatta have ended the longest premiership drought in NRL history. What's your reaction?
Well, I mean, I'd probably be a little bit intoxicated at that point.
I bet you would.
I'd probably take all my clothes off, run down the street naked, I reckon.
It's gonna be good. I think they're gonna be thereabouts, man. I think they'll finish in top 4. They're gonna get as good an opportunity as they've had in years to break this drought. Can you see it happening? Can you now? Obviously, Panthers and Melbourne are the benchmark of this competition.
Yeah,
we saw that on Thursday and Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Eels have proven they can go with sides when they're on.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, a few weeks back we versed Melbourne.
Yeah.
I mean, Melbourne arguably should have won that game, but there was just a few silly mistakes and a couple of really good plays by King Gutho. But, I mean, that really just proved it back then. And then we've gone on and won all of our games but one since then.
Yeah, so, and I think they showed you need some luck against those good sides anyway.
Yeah.
So you can't really play that into it. I think Reid Marnie on that night, his kicking game was outstanding. I thought the Eels have been pretty good. Earlier on in the year, I thought they were due for a loss. They got that loss against the Dragons, and I think since then they've bounced back a lot stronger. They've looked a lot better side.
Yeah.
Since then, and I love the balance of their side. I think this is the best chance they've had in a very long time to win a grand final.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it.
Well, mate, me too. Been waiting a long time. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. All right, let's get in the games.
All right, so Thursday, Storm, they beat the Bunnies 50-0. Fox, he went over 6 times in one game. First time in, 70 odd years?
Yeah, 71 years, I think
71 years?
Yeah.
So it's good to watch. I wish Olam didn't pass the ball a couple of those times. I had him in a multi.
Yeah.
So a bit unlucky there. But yeah, Storm pretty much just dominated them all game. They completed 93%. I had a look at the team stats on NRL.com. Pretty much all the stats are in the way of, or in favour of Storm.
There was heaps of people come out and said, the South Sydney didn't have a lot of their players, and that's true. Adam Reynolds is such a big part of their side. That's why we're all pretty much speechless that they're not going to re-sign him. But you can control your effort.
Yeah. 1,
tackling, that's just a mindset. You can tackle if you want to tackle. 2, hold the ball. That's got nothing to do with who's out there. Like if you're a first grader, you should be able to hold the ball. They completed 68% compared to 93%. That's terrible. And only one player in South Sydney's whole team ran for over 100 metres.
Hold on. Who?
Cody Walker.
Cody Walker.
That's no one else in the team, no forward, no back, ran for over 100 metres other than Cody Walker.
Well, that's just effort there as well. Effort. It's like if you want to run, you put your hand up and you take a hit up.
Exactly. I think their average set gains, I was having a look, was like 30 odd metres. So you got to get in and work hard there.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with who's out on the field. There's still 13 players on each team. You can still put in effort. You shouldn't be losing 50-0. No team has ever had 50 put on them and gone on and won the comp in the same year. So that's a bit of a bad stat for the Rabbitohs.
So is that across to the Bunnies?
I'm not, because I thought about this. I think the last 2 seasons have been different to any season we've ever had.
Yep.
I think the way they've changed the game, scores are higher. We're seeing a lot more points every week, so I don't think you can count them out yet. I still think South are one of those teams that can beat anyone on their day. They do have the Sharks next week, and both sides have not. Well, they both got beaten by almost 50 this week, so it'll be interesting to see where they bounce back.
Yeah, well, I'll be picking the Bunnies there.
Me too.
Yep. Anyway, Friday, Panthers, as you just said, beat the Sharks 48-0. These first 2 games really showed, that Melbourne and the Panthers are just cut above everyone else.
Yeah.
Just at the moment, anyway.
For sure.
Yeah. Again, I looked at the stats on NRL.com, all in favour of the Panthers. I don't know what's going on with the Sharks. They've lost how many in a row?
Did
they?
Well, no, they've lost 5 in a row, maybe. I've
One
got
of those was to the Doggies.
Yeah, I've got it here. So the first 5 weeks they were 2-3. Then they sacked their coach, right? Now in the first 5 weeks they scored 80 points and had 76 scored against them.
Yep.
In the next 4 weeks, so one less game, they've had 132 scored against them and only scored 54 points.
Oof.
So they've gone backwards. They've sacked their coach and gone backwards.
I really don't think they should have sacked their coach. I mean,
Well, I don't understand. They were playing good footy.
Yeah.
We're sitting here going, you know what? The Sharks have shocked me. Like they've come out, even though they were 2-3, they were playing okay.
yeah, well, they should have won all their games. Like, they only just lost to Para. Who else they lose to? The Raiders?
The Raiders by goal kicking, pretty much.
Yeah, because Chad couldn't kick a goal.
And then the Roosters game, they were up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they ended up getting done.
And then the Roosters had like a crazy 10 minutes or so, whatever.
Yeah, we've bring that up a couple of times. In the last month, yeah, they've just been terrible. Now, every week we sit here and the team that the Panthers beat, we talk about, oh, that team's been, how bad they played.
Yeah.
I don't think we give the Panthers enough credit. Do you think?
I think we give the Panthers a lot of credit.
They've been unbelievable in the last over a year, pretty much. I think they have had one loss since the 19th of June last year.
Was that when they lost
to Para?
Para?
Yeah. So
and
that
then lost the grand final.
And yeah, so they've had one loss since that Para game.
Yeah.
So I've had a look ahead. The Penrith Panthers play Melbourne in Melbourne the 31st of July. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we should go.
It's going to be so good. Melbourne will be right up for that game too. I think they've been killing it, Penrith, and I think we need to give them more credit than what we do, because I think we read more into the other team's performance than we do into the Panthers, who have just been clinical across everything they've done.
I think we give them plenty of credit.
You're off your head. That's the Parramatta Eel talking.
I wear a Penrith jumper, mate.
Oh, but you said that it's got nothing to do with the Panthers last week.
Well, it doesn't.
So make up your mind. Move on.
Okay, anyway. On to the next Friday night game. We've got the Eels. They defeat the Roosters 31 points to 18. It was a close game here up until about 10 minutes or so. There's only 6 points in it.
I think we've given the Eels plenty of credit already. Let's just move on. Is that what you do?
You're a dickhead. You're a dickhead. You know what? I've got praise for the Roosters here.
Now I've got to tick that explicit content box on the YouTube.
Mate, I had plenty of stuff to say about the Roosters and you've just gone and wrecked it.
Go, say it.
I was going to say the Roosters, they should be proud of themselves for the way they defended.
Yeah.
They already had players out and they lost a couple more in the game.
Jeez, you're a good man.
You're a dickhead. You're a dead set dickhead. Honestly, yeah.
What was I going to say? The Roosters all year they've done that though. They've had players out all year and they've just managed to show up, and that's the difference between them and South. They've had players out, and they've been able to show up and like put on a pretty good game. I want to talk about the Niokore and Brown incidents.
Yeah.
Niokore and Brown both hit with charges right on half time, and Niokore hit with a grade 2 careless high tackle. Dylan Brown hit with a grade 3 dangerous contact. They both accepted the early guilty plea. Brown will miss 3 and Niokore will miss 2. Now, I thought Brown should have been sanctioned on the day. They looked at it many times, didn't have a problem with it, to the point where it was that bad. The people in the bunker got sacked for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think, one, he wasn't put on report till after half time, so they couldn't even make an interchange. Did you know that? They weren't allowed to do the injury sub.
Oh, really?
Because they didn't put him on report till after half time, which is silly. They looked at it 50 times. It definitely should have been on report. I think it was bad. It wasn't intentional from Dylan Brown, but it 100%. Was bad.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, I thought it was really bad, but he didn't do it on purpose. And,
no, he didn't do it.
And to Dylan Brown's credit, he contacted Drew Hutchinson. They released a statement yesterday. Yesterday, I contacted Drew to check up on him and apologise. Also, let him know that it was an accident and it was never my intention for him to get hurt, which is good.
He's such a good bloke, Dylan Brown.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's such a good bloke.
Should one of those have gotten 10 in the bin? No, you're happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I want to know the reason that Swiley couldn't come on.
I don't know.
So they got 3 HIAs, but I'm hearing that someone needs to be sent to the bin to trigger it.
I thought it was just fair play.
I thought it was too. But they got the 3 HIAs and couldn't bring him in. So if anyone knows...
Who got a HIA?
I can't remember. I just remember on the night they were talking about it and they were saying because there wasn't any... no one was putting the bin, it can't happen. So if you're watching this and you know what the ruling is on that, I tried to look into it. I couldn't find anything. I thought it was just 3 HIAs. No, I didn't even think it was foul play. If it was 3 HIAs, then they get to come in.
I thought it was either 3 HIAs or like 1 foul play.
1 foul play?
Yeah, there's 1 foul. If a player is like sent for a HIA due to foul play, then you get to bring him in.
Okay.
I thought that's how it goes.
We're going to need to seek some clarification on that.
Yeah, we'll have to do a bit of research.
Yeah, you might have to do some research. Okay? You do some research and come back to us with that. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. All right. Anyway, Saturday, we've got the Knights beating the Raiders 24 points to 16. Raiders have now lost 5 games in a row, and they led 16-0 at halftime. That's been a bit of a pattern for the Raiders the last few weeks. They're doing well in the first half, building up a lead, and then the second half comes around and they just totally blow it. I don't know if they were really bad or the Knights were just, playing better.
I don't know.
I can't really say.
Can't get a read on either team.
Yeah, well, they're both playing pretty horrible footy.
Cannot get a read on either of these sides. I think both sides were teams that we thought would do really well this year. I thought both teams were top 8 sides.
Yeah.
I think the Knights were terrible in the first half. They showed a lot of fight to come back. But is that just because the Raiders have been terrible in second halves or what?
Well, I can't tell you, mate. Well, I mean, I guess you can't really put 100% of the blame on the Knights players for playing that like as bad as they do with, they're missing Mitch Pearson and Blake Green.
I thought Tarpany played really well in this game and then he got injured and I think that really hurt him. Yeah. I thought he was playing really good. He only played 27 minutes or something like that. So 5 straight losses for the Raiders here. 24 straight points for the Knights in the second half. The Raiders have only scored 8 points in the second half in the last month. Only scored 2 tries in the second half in the last month. So that's
just not good enough.
That's problems for them. They're in shambles, man. Their whole locker room. I don't know what's going on. Josh Hodgson's given up the captaincy. Josh Papali is choosing what weeks he wants to play. You know what I mean?
George Williams is apparently homesick.
He's going home, but also there's rumours around that his manager's talking to other rugby league clubs.
NRL clubs?
Yeah, other NRL. So no one knows what's going on there. I've got a theory, right? Hodgson didn't play a lot last year.
Yeah.
So when did he get injured? Was it after the COVID break? Did he come back for that first game and then get injured in that game? It was very early.
Yeah, I know.
I've got a feeling he hasn't adjusted to the new rules. So last year he didn't play much under the new rules, right?
Yeah.
And Tom Starling and Havili shared the role there, and Tom Starling was electric when he got on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hodgson's come back into the team, and he's not playing that brand of footy that every other team's playing. And I think it's slowing them down a bit. And I don't think they're playing... And obviously Bateman's a big loss for them, but I just don't think he's adjusted to the rules yet.
I mean, they've lost games where he hasn't been playing though.
Yeah.
Like, on the weekend they got beat like pretty badly in the second half, and he wasn't playing.
Yeah, I just think when he's been on the field, I don't think they've looked very dangerous at all. And I just don't. I don't know. And everyone's trying to find a reason. It can't just be that they're not playing well in the second half. Like, that's not a good enough reason.
There's something deeper.
There's got to be something going on. And I know that the coach is never going to get the sack. They're not going to sack Ricky.
No way.
So that means players are going to move on. And what, you're going to gut their whole squad? You're going to put... Tarpany's probably going to go somewhere else, you would think.
Yeah.
Hodgson doesn't look interested.
He might go back to England, maybe.
And if George Williams goes as well, who are you going to bring in? There's not that many halfbacks out there.
Apparently there was talks Sean Johnson to the Raiders.
So does that fix their side?
No, if anything, that might make their side a little worse.
Yeah, I don't know. There's deeper problems. If you're a Canberra Raiders fan, let us know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Starling's got to start for him, though, every week.
Yeah, 100%. And Havili, I don't rate Havili.
Maybe a lock, not a hooker.
Not even a lock.
And I hope Joseph Tarpany can get on the field a little bit more. I thought he was good on the weekend. I thought he was solid.
Yeah, I think Josh Papali'i and Joe Tarpany, I think they need to get more minutes. They're both damaging runners of the footy.
I think Papali'i probably needs to get his mind right. I think there's more things going on for him too. He said it's more not about footy than anything else. So I hope he's okay too.
Yeah, well, when he's on his game, he's one of the better front rowers in the game.
Oh, probably one of the best. Yeah,
Definitely. Anyway, on to the Titans versus Tigers. Titans win that 36 points to 28. We've seen this the last couple of weeks from the Titans. They'll come out of the gates firing, and they're electric when they got the ball, but when they don't have the ball, I think they're finding it real hard to hold opponents out.
I thought their defence in the second half, even you see some of the tries from the Tigers, their defensive line was terrible.
Yeah.
There was players out of position. There was players moving up when other players weren't moving up.
Yep.
That's a huge problem for them. They play a team like Melbourne, like in a situation like that, they're going to get cut to bits. Yeah. Other than that, I thought Tanner Boyd was really good.
Yeah.
I thought their attack had way more flow with him. So good on him. He come in at 6. Probably bad signs for Ash Taylor there. But Tanner Boyd, I think, because I've been critical of the Titans' attack flow-wise. I feel like it's been very stop-start. And I've said this a couple of times on the show that they just haven't looked very coordinated. But I thought Tanner Boyd really helped that on the weekend. So good on him. I think one of the big things for me for the Titans in this game, they made a break. And Tanner Boyd actually got pulled down about 5 metres from the line.
Yep.
They were all set to the right and the Tigers were shot to the bit, their left edge defence. Mm-hmm. Instead of shifting, they took a hit up. They Fodawaker went for like a crash play.
Was it first receiver?
It was just one off the ruck, bang.
So Mitch Rain.
That's my point. I think it glaringly shows that the Titans are in desperate need of a hooker.
Yeah.
Because they go there, so that was third tackle, and then they go the hit up, fourth tackle, and then they went there the next play and they threw a forward pass. The defence was still shot to bits. Yeah. But if they go early, they score in the corner and shut this come back down. Tigers, well, you got anything to say about the Tigers? They're just inconsistent.
Yeah. Like they play well one week, and like last week they kept the Dragons to 8 points, and then they get 36 put on them. So
yeah, I thought Laurie was good again. I thought Luke Garner was alright. They kind of
Dewey.
Yeah, Adam Dewey's been good most of the year.
He's been awesome.
I thought Garner and Laurie almost put on a couple of tries in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And they both got called back. So, but yeah, they're just inconsistent. I don't know what to make of them. Like this week was they wore a jersey in memory of Tommy Rodonigas and stuff, and it was at Campbelltown.
Yeah, and
it was meant to be an emotionally charged game, and then they come out and get how many points put on in the first half?
That's the same as the round
against the Cowboys.
Passed.
Yeah,
it's pretty much exactly the same. It's like they say, "Oh, they should like pump them up and all that stuff," and they come out and they
come out flat.
Yeah,
they come out flat as, and there's been heaps of criticism about the Tigers. I think they've been very inconsistent, but I'm not going to go as far to say they've got no first graders. There's been people coming out that have just really had a go at them.
Yeah.
I think they just need to find some consistency. I think Luke Brooks needs to go somewhere else for starters. They need to just end that relationship. I hope Luke Brooks goes somewhere and finds something. Maybe he can go to Canberra and find something. You know what I mean? Like that's maybe not a bad fit for him with Whiten, who's an experienced half, who's won a Daily M. So
that would be a good fit actually.
Yeah, and then you bring in a halfback. So throw someone else there. Maybe throw Sean Johnson in with Dewey and see what that can do. I don't know. I don't know where Sean Johnson's going to go. Where is Sean going to end up? That's a good question.
Pardon me. Maybe we might talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll have a bit more of a think about it.
Maybe that will be the headline for next week's episode. Where will Sean end up?
No, this is where Sean is going.
This is where Sean... Okay.
Yeah, we'll do our research and we'll tell you next week.
Anyway, well, and just to end up on that game, Tanner Boyd I thought was great. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Anyway, I thought what was the game of the round. Cowboys beat the Broncos 19 points to 18. It was a great game. Queensland Derby, awesome. Jason Taumalolo, he's back.
He
finally gets the minutes he deserves. This is what we were saying at the start of the year. We were like saying, why is Todd Payton coming in and decreasing his minutes when he's been the best, most damaging forward, playing the way that he has been? And I think on the weekend
we saw the best version of Jason Taumalolo.
Yeah, we did, and I mean. That's what he can do given, if he's given that amount of time.
And I tell you what, he needs those minutes to get into the game too. He had no flow to his game in the weeks previous. Even we saw at the Warriors game, no flow to his game at all.
Yeah.
Because he would get into a rhythm and then he'd get taken off, brought back on.
Yeah.
And it's just not how he plays. I want to talk about Kyle Felt. His put down was unbelievable. It was really, really good. Is he one of the most consistent finishers we've seen in the last 7 years?
I think so, yeah. And I was talking to a bloke at work, and me and him were saying we can't believe he hasn't been picked for Queensland.
Yeah.
Like they were choosing Corey Oates
I know.
over Kyle Felt. Kyle Felt's just a better player.
I think Kyle Felt, you get him in a position where he can, it's a 50-50 chance to score a try. He's scoring that try.
Yeah.
He just knows how to get to the try line. And on the weekend, it proved that. He had no idea where he was on the field.
It's like he's got a sixth sense where the try line is. He's got his head down here, and he just...
Everyone on in the whole world thought, oh, well, this is where the play ends. And you can just see his arm come up, bang.
Like, what is doing?
I know. It was so good. But that's what I sat here when I was doing my notes, and I thought, is he the most consistent finisher we've seen in a long time?
Oh, probably not the most consistent finisher, but he's definitely in the conversation.
I just think, how many times have you seen him not get it done? Like, if it's like a 50-50 chance for him to get to the line, how many times have you seen him not get it done?
Off the top of my head, I don't really think about the Cowboys too often.
I don't think you really remember too many no tries, to be fair.
Yeah, no.
No, but he has been extremely consistent. He'll go down as one of the best Cowboys wingers they've ever had, probably in the conversation with like the Matt Sings of the world and stuff like that. So I think he's probably the best Cowboys winger. Yeah, probably go down as the best Cowboys winger ever. Hopefully he gets a crack at Origin. I can't see him getting picked this year either, to be honest.
I think he missed the boat.
Missed the window.
Yeah, missed the window.
Because this year is probably Val and Coates. You would think. Yeah. Oh, also Coates to Melbourne. You like it?
I do.
Like it for him.
Oh yeah.
Great career decision for him, I think.
Yeah. Good for him. Bad for Broncos.
Terrible for Broncos, but smart of him to go learn from Craig Bellamy.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You think about how many great wingers have come from Melbourne. So you got Addo-Carr, Vunivalu.
Yeah.
He was pretty decent.
Korobedi,
he was good.
Yeah.
Who else?
What's the one last year that left?
That was Vunivalu.
Vunivalu, yeah.
I swear there's been plenty more better wingers.
He just builds wingers.
Yeah.
And you even said Remus Smith.
Yeah, Remus Smith.
Branko Lee went there last year when his career was dead. He ended up playing Origin.
Yeah.
So
100%.
he knows what to do with the outside backs. We've already... Anything on the Broncos? I think 95% of teams that are up by 6 with 6 to go get that game done.
Oh, that's right. I got that in my notes, yeah. That field goal by Val, like what was it? 3 passes, one to Drinkwater, and then he passed it to Clifford, and then Clifford back to Val. Val just slots it from, 35 out?
I know coaches come in, right, and want to stamp their foot on the team. And I feel like Todd Payton come in and said, I'm going to make some big decisions. I'm going to push Val to the wing. And I'm going to play Tamalolo just limited minutes, and this will be my team. And you know what? That's all gone out the window. Tamalolo's playing the minutes he should be. Val's back at fullback where he should be, and the team's performance. So you can sometimes do too much as a coach. I think what they're doing recruitment-wise, I think they're going to the market. They're being very smart with what they're bringing in.
Yep.
But there's reasons these players are where they are, and they're getting paid the money they are. Like Val's a fullback.
Yeah.
He's 100% a fullback.
Well, he's a little bit of both.
I think he's killing it fullback at the moment.
Yeah, he's a good fullback, but he's also a great winger.
Well, he was probably the best winger in the world at the time when he was in the NRL.
But I agree with you. He's a good fullback.
He's killing it.
I think he's a better winger.
And Scotty Drinkwater at 6 is killing it. I'm so glad they re-signed him. Cohen Hess to the middle. That's been probably their best position change all year.
That's good. He did really in that last set to get him to field goal position. Yep. He took 2 runs, really good runs, quick play the ball.
It's been he said coming out this week, it's been a bit of a change in mindset for him too, which is good.
Yeah, good on him.
Anyway, the Broncos probably should have got that done.
Yeah, they definitely should. We were giving it to Cohen. Well, I was giving it to Cohen Hess earlier in the year, saying his defense was soft,
and he was getting found out.
Yeah, he was. But and now that he's moved to the middle, I think you were right. He's getting found out a lot less. So
I think everything you said about Cohen Hess at the start of the year was absolutely fair, though. Let's not discount that. He would say himself, he was terrible in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah. Righty. Anyway, on to the Sunday games. You got the not the Warriors. The Seagulls. They defeat the Warriors 38 points to 32.
Yeah.
And just won. 2 words, Tommy Bra.
All right, let's go straight into Tommy. He's played 4 games, 5 tries, 8 try assists, which puts him in the top 10. 9 line breaks, which puts him in the top 10. and his average running meters is 210 meters a game, which puts him in the top 3.
You know, I don't think he's not just the informed fullback. He's the informed player of the comp.
Yeah, well, he's got to be.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone else could come into that Manly side and win in 3 out of 4. And the one they lost, they could have won against Penrith.
I'm saying you put him on the Bulldogs right now. The Bulldogs are winning games.
The Bulldogs make top 4.
He is that good. I don't think we've ever seen a more influential player to a single side ever.
I've got that written here as well.
This guy come into Manly. They were gone. They beat the Warriors by 1 point the week after before he come back.
Yeah,
but they were gone. They were coming last.
Yeah,
and he walks in this side, and suddenly they're a threat. They're a threat to every team. Now I don't like them conceding 32 points, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Warriors haven't won back to back this year. They're a middle of the road squad. That's what we said at the start of the year. They were going to be between 8th and 12th, 8th and 10th, I reckon, somewhere there. So
yeah,
I think they've got to find a place for Reece Walsh in the starting side.
They definitely do. You saw him come on, immediate impact.
Yeah.
He scored a try, and he almost set one up.
I don't know where it is. I don't know if you want to play to Vita Harris, but he's too good a player to spend 64 minutes on the bench. Way too good a player.
Well, who would you drop out of Cody Nicarima or Chanel?
I would look at maybe going to Vita Harris to the 9.
To 9?
Yeah.
Who's it? Wade Egan?
Yeah. So you put him in the 14 and bring him on at 9. I'd say.
I think Cody Nicarima could do a job coming in at 9.
Yeah. Well, he's played a bit of 9.
If he was in the 14 jersey, and he's got the speed and footwork that he could find his way through the middle around tight forwards.
Yep. And I think he's playing pretty good footy. I wouldn't like to see him out of the side. I think Nicarima's probably having one of the better years he's had in a while.
Yeah.
But Reece Walsh has to be in the 17. It has to be in the 13. Has to be in the starting squad.
Yeah. Me too. I think so.
Yeah. But other than that, how do you stop Tommy? You can't. He walks into this New South Wales squad. I want to hear no rubbish about him not being in the team.
Well, he's playing. I don't think he's not playing on the wing. He's wasted on the wing.
No.
He's playing in the centres.
It doesn't matter where he plays. He'll be having hit-ups one off the ruck.
And he'll be breaking the line.
That's what he does. And we talked about it not long ago. Someone said, how do you get him out of the game? Well, you can't. He's the one player you can't keep out of the game because he's going to go get in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they got Saab on the wing. He's killing it. He's probably the fastest player in the comp right now.
Yeah, and he saved a try at the end there to stop the scores from possibly going to level.
No, the Manly Tommy is different.
Yeah, Tommy is he's a god.
He's a god.
He's a god at the moment. Anyway, on to the Dragons. They beat the Doggies 32-12. I didn't really watch too much of this game. I was at work, but I heard you were down there.
Yeah, I went up. I didn't mind it. I thought the stadium was cool. The game was okay. I didn't love the game, to be honest. But it was not bad there. It's really hard to review the game when you're there live, I reckon, because you don't see as much as you do on TV.
Yeah.
But I did watch Ben Hunt very closely. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah.
And Kyle Flanagan, he got hooked after about 40 minutes, and I was thinking, what's doing there? Now, they did ask Trent Barrett, after the game, and he said, I think, given the position we are on the table, we'll make some changes if see fit. He did talk about their ends of sets. He thought their end of sets were terrible. That's kind of why he got hooked. He ended up coming back on because Lewis got injured there in the second half. It was 6-0 at the time, though. I don't really understand the thinking. Do you? Well, you didn't really get to watch him, but no, I didn't notice too much.
Even just you say he got hooked, it's like you brought him in to be the halfback to lead the team, and he'd be on pretty good money there. I
just think for his confidence too, not a good thing.
Yeah.
And then he didn't guarantee that he'd be picked next week too in the press conference, which is crazy.
Well, I think that's just silly. You brought him in to play halfback, to be the halfback that you're going to go forward with.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know.
And he's the best half they've got at that club at the moment.
Like, why are you playing Lachlan Lewis? Like, he's all right, but I mean, come on.
He's not Kyle Flanagan, I don't think. And by all reports, Lachlan Lewis will be out again this week. Other than that, Ben Hunt I thought was great. I thought Corey Norman was really solid. Dufty was okay in attack again. I don't see a lot of the buzz around Dufty. I know some people rate him. He's a big fan favourite at the Dragons, but I think defensively he just gets found out far too often. I think Ben Hunt really stamped his authority on that 14 jersey. I think it's for Queensland. I think it's between him, Brimson, and people are throwing up Reid Marnie. I'd love to see him get picked, but I don't see where's he going to play if not 9.
Ben Hunt he's 100% he's a lock for that 14.
Yeah.
There's no way AJ Brimson goes in that 14 because he can play fullback or the 6. He can't play 7.
Yeah.
He can't play hooker.
Yeah. I like
Ben Hunt can play 9, 6, 7, and maybe even probably not fullback, but
probably a lock though. And you can reshuffle the backs if you need to, but he can play lock as well.
Yeah.
If he has to.
He's far more versatile than AJ Brimson, I think, and more versatile than Reid Marnie too. Reid Marnie is a great hooker, but Harry Grant's got that number 9, and
I think he's playing 80 in Origin.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you: is Damien Cook the best hooker in the game still?
Going off form just from this year, I don't think so.
I don't think he is. I think Reid Mahoney's killing it.
He's killing it.
And Harry Grant, since he's come back, has been off his head. I think Brandon Smith's really solid. I do think some of his passing's not amazing out of hooker.
Once he gets a bit fatigued, then his passing quality it goes straight down.
But I think form wise, he's definitely not the best hooker in the comp.
No, like he's still up. He's still in conversation. Like we're not saying he's not a good hooker anymore. We're just saying there's other hookers that are playing better than him at the moment.
See, I look at two things too. I have like a form list and I have like a body of work. So Teddy's the number 1 fullback in the comp, right? But on form, I think he's probably 2nd or 3rd on form.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah, but that's okay. You can have those conversations, but then don't come out and say that Ryan Pappenhausen's a better fullback than James Tedesco, because that's not true. Yeah, James Tedesco is the best fullback.
Yeah,
but there is arguments for form wise.
Yeah, probably form-wise, I think maybe Kalen Ponga, Turbo, and maybe even Clint Gutherson, and Ryan Pappenhausen maybe when he's fit are in better form than James Tedesco at the moment. But James Tedesco is better than all of those guys.
Of course. And I mean, Tommy's right there. Tommy's very, very, very good. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. We run a little bit long on this one, but I do like getting into that. Let us know on the Q&A show what you want to see. Denny will not be here on the Q&A show. He's going to be fighting fires for the great people of New South Wales. So he will be protecting your homes and not doing a podcast. He will be back on Monday. Anything to say?
Go the Eels.
Go the Eels. See you, bud.